parents are very strict. Where are you going with those skates? Wear your helmet. Are you doing that too? Are you jumping on those banisters?
Hi again, everyone. Hi, Ben. Hi, Niam.
Hi, everyone.
We ran out of time yesterday and we need another hour. So here we are again to finish off, hopefully finish off. Part 2. Ready to go. Cool.
Ben, I guess jumping right into it, you were one of the only rollerbladers that transitioned between, and I guess bridged the two cultures, being skateboarding and rollerblading, with you working in cheap skates and then later California dreaming. And you famously had a photo in a hard book skateboarding hardcover skateboarding book, which I don't know anyone who's ever been in a hardcover skateboarding book before who's a blader. So I wanted to ask you about this picture, just to see if you could kind of describe the moment and describe what was happening.
Yeah, right. Just wrecking shit, man. In my defense, it's not my fault. The bottom left of that photo, the passenger side window, Julio kicked that in doing a fish brain stall during our heats. Because we had the contest together. It was skateboarding and rollerblading was all one cheap skates, just whoever wrote, the whatever sports were down. And that was after like the end of all the contests and finals and prize givings. And I think when Shiloh scored the car for the street course from the wreckers, all they wanted was they just said, don't wreck the engine. We just need the engine block back mint and you can do what you want to it effectively. So being me, I was like, well, Julio's already kicked one window in, and I think it was Blake Montague. Oh man, the homie. Wow, a flashback. But he'd smashed the back window in with his trucks. And because I'd been commentating and like during the contest, I'd be out there calling the runs from the car. And I was getting all hyped at the end and started jumping, and I was like, oh no, I dented it. And it was like weird for people to manual on, I guess. And that was just like, let's go. Time to let's go on Warriors with that car, eh? And yeah, I broke my arm in the cast that weekend because someone tripped over. Yeah. Someone had tripped over the extension cord running the generator, I think. Dave Porter and Ben Myers and that building the street course, and the vert ramp was hipped into that massive quarter pipe, and I was transferring out. I was probably 10, 12 feet off the ground, and someone tripped over a power cord and the Jenny cut out and there were no lights. And so I just hit the flat bottom and like cooked it. I was already in the cast, so skate vert, Ben, you genius. And busted my arm in the cast. And we went home that night and realized we couldn't get upstairs at my grandparents and just had to kind of sleep in the basement.
You're rugged there, bro. Look at your pants, and it looks like the ass is like ripped out of your jeans. You got long hair. Like that's back in the day when you were like a bit more. No. You know what I mean?
That must be 90. That's probably Easter 97.
Yeah.
Because that's right around the time. Yeah, because it was those school holidays when they just said, "You want a job?" And I was like, "Yo, let's go." I think were they the ones from Niam or Snowy? They're hand-me-down like Senate jeans.
I think I gave you those ones.
Yeah, the pockets have been blown off and stuff. There's some old globes with RB stickers on them.
Was that
I might have got off Snowy?
Was that the Nationals where they had the course had like a T section in it?
Nah,
and there was like that little garden planter thing off to the side.
Was that the one?
No, I think that was a year after this one.
That was the year with that picnic table where I did that weird sidewalk surfer thing. That was the Lion Red year.
Yeah, right.
That was hectic.
Oriental Markets was cool, man. I really enjoyed those days. That was fun. We didn't have a car. We just used to stay at the backpackers, and yeah, like it was cool.
That was it. That same year was the year Julio was over, and he came back to the backpackers with us. Remember?
Was it him and Arlo that year?
Yeah, and we had that video premiere, and we all watched Espionage at Frank Lou's house. They brought over a copy.
Yeah.
No, that's later because I was at Cheapskates by then.
Oh, was that the year after?
Yeah.
Oh, could this be the Ian Smith year where he came over from Australia?
Oh, sick, G. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, because it's not Steve, Kiru, and Hans in that. That was way back.
We kind of had a good showing.
I'm just trying to think. No, it might. Yeah, I think it was. I think it might have been.
Hi, Ollie.
Ian Smith. Yeah, Junior. That's the future. That's Liam's godson. It's how tight rollerblading is in New Zealand. It's family. Yeah, it all blurs, man. Like it just was
Especially
like,
back then. Especially back then.
So I did want to ask you about your involvement in the Orient Internationals, because even Jo was involved there. Like she was involved with organising the scoring and stuff at one stage, which was
yeah. So
cool.
that's from '98 onwards to it might be the 2000s. But just being in admin and stuff like that, and always being there, I think instantly. Yeah, just that some of the girls in management with the companies involved were just like, oh, yo, cool, here's another chick. And she'd grown up around the cream of like New Zealand skateboarding at the time too, in Browns Bay when they were kids. She went through school with a whole lot of guys I ended up working with, pros I looked up to in the skateboard industry. So
yeah.
She'd been around the scene. She kind of knew what was up. She's judged skateboard contests.
Wow.
Some years in the past too. And yeah, took all the registrations. And it's just, it's a family thing. It's New Zealand. So we've all just got to chip in. I don't know. Free wristband, free booze, do some airs.
So, Ian, is there? I don't know. I thought about asking you this question. It might not be as easy to answer, but apart from Jo, is there someone that's sort of like your biggest kind of, not your best friend, but like who's been like a really important person to you through your time skating? Is there someone you can pick out that is?
Man, that's me, because I'm the shit bitch. I want to thank me, like Snoop Dogg said, because I did it when it wasn't cool. I did it because who cares? I did it because I was sad. I did it because I was happy.
That's a good answer.
Me.
Yeah.
But every time someone was like, oh, what's the hardest thing about being a rollerblader? Coming out to your parents, and it's like, nah, it's punching people in the mouth for being ignorant bigots. But yeah, it's me, because I can't choose out of all of you, because it's one family, it's one entity. There's just 30 parts to it. Yeah,
that's a good answer.
It's 30 years old. Yeah,
that's a good answer.
Snoop Dogg said it, so it's got to be the truth.
Nice.
Oh, this was my other question. So you have to choose one thing to leave behind: the job or music.
I know where you live.
Yeah.
I know where you live. I'd leave music behind.
Really?
Oh, but cool.
Because trust me, like I'll leave it behind because it's always in me. I'll never. Like there's background tracks in my head running all the time, man. Like it doesn't stop.
Can I just?
Yeah, I could leave music behind physically because it'll never leave me behind anyway. So
that's another good answer. And I was actually expecting you to say the other, but good.
Oh, see, that's not I don't. Yeah, if you know me, you know me. I guess it's a thing, but it's just there because it's there. That's not even. Like, that's never a question. I don't have to. I do. So, yeah, I'd probably forget it anyway and be like, damn, now I got nothing.
This is a kind of a random question, Horgan, but like you've always had a really supportive family who were always really involved in the scene, and, like you had video premieres at your house, and even how supportive your wife has been. Was there ever a time that either your parents or Joe said maybe you shouldn't hang out with a particular person, or maybe you shouldn't go to a particular event? Or
Nah.
no?
It's the instructions are usually don't be a dick. If you get in trouble, it's your problem. I mean, like, if you know Joe, she's a strong-willed character, man. Like, she doesn't like someone, she doesn't like someone.
Yeah.
Not outside of the case of where there's shit I should have been doing, or only when the, other responsibilities or obligations are there. Or it's just like, why are you only ever home when it's raining or you're injured? Not don't go out and do it, but I've been reminded a lot that it's not always appropriate, that I'll go and do it at the drop of a hat, or I will choose it over all sorts of things I should be doing instead. But it makes me, I'm not right without it. I'm better for it. So you're all lucky I do ignore you and do it sometimes. And yeah, I'm better at picking and choosing my battles now, though. But like I said it yesterday. Jesus said it. You can't tell me nothing. Don't tell me not to, because then I'm gonna. It's like my wizard beard I had.
Yeah.
Every time someone was like, "When are you gonna shave that?" I'd be like, "That's another week on the list." There's about 4 years worth of like wizard beard. But yeah, if they did, I didn't pay attention because it hasn't stood out, man.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here with that attitude.
So nothing that your parents said ever when you were younger, hey, maybe don't do that, or don't go skating with those dudes, don't go on that skate trip.
I mean, I'm sure, like after the fact, as an adult years down the line, they've said, oh yeah, we might have been a bit concerned about letting this 13, 14-year-old kid out into the world. I mean, I was 15 when I left school and left home and moved to Auckland.
But I mean, be honest, Tim and Georgia would have probably come on any skate trip that we went on anyway.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they did have words about it. I'm sure we've discussed the fact that they definitely had different views. Weren't necessarily as who is that decision going to make sense to? Like, hey, I'm 15. I'm school's. I didn't hate school. It was just like, I've got an opportunity I don't want to miss right now, and it's pays the bills. I mean, I could have stayed in school and ended up working at McDonald's full time anyway. I worked at Georgie Pie. I'd been working. I wasn't failing. And like, we're so blessed in New Zealand. If it had gone wrong, you move home, or you can go back to school.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you're talking about like parents not wanting you to go on certain skate trips or do certain things, but I kind of feel like of all the crazy things that anyone did, it was always like with a tight group of friends. Like, it was pretty good. Like, I did some dumb stuff, but I never felt like people wouldn't look after me. Do you know what I mean? Even though even though some of the people around me were doing as dumber stuff, like, I never felt out of line or unsafe. So yeah.
Well, but I mean, what can I say? Fight your mates, but no. It's that was it. If you got out of line, you get punched in the mouth. It might have been by a small female that was a few years your junior, but like it was just there's always been a mutual respect, and no one wants to see anyone else get hurt. And I think especially over these last 10 or 15 years, 16 years since becoming a parent, and we've all become a little bit older, and we've all seen each other go through some stuff, and we have lost some good people. We've nearly lost some really good people, and we all just wised up, and that same attitude's carried through from when we were shitbag 12-year-olds of like, I mean, you can cause a ruckus and be an idiot, but if it's dangerous, if it's unhealthy, like, we don't want that for each other. So I guess collectively as a group, there's a select few that started talking and started just breeding those seeds of like, let's vocally look after each other. It's going to be way healthier if we're out there, because we'd always do it, but as kids, you don't think about it, or it might be more that like, damn, I don't want to have to explain to his parents why they're picking us up from the cop shop or the hospital or the, we've always had each other's backs, and we've matured into making sure we let each other know it.
Okay, here's my next desert island type question. You got to choose 3 spots that you have to skate for the rest of your life. Nowhere else.
I'm committing to doing these, so some of my answers might seem absurd, but I'm trying not to be me about it and fight being forced to choose.
I could almost answer these for you.
3 spots. You go. You throw yours out there, and I'll let you know if they're the ones.
Oh,
this will be
so
here.
Taupo, skate park.
Okay.
Vic Park Channel Ramp.
Okay.
And Marlborough Park.
It's up there. Yeah.
I need more time to think about
it now because I haven't.
No, I'm picking. I was just chucking the Ben ones out there that I know that he rides well.
Yeah.
So Abbott's Way is probably top of the list. That was just the first. It was like right next to the golf course that my grandparents were a big part of in Auckland. So once I figured out how to get there, I'd ride it as often as possible. Once I was up on my own and I had a few more contacts and the buses sorted, but yeah, Abbott's Way. It's a toss-up between that and Grey Lynn, but I just a little more aerial huck and just like I've probably spent years of my life. Pardon me. Yeah, Abbott's Way, number 1. I'm going to say... can I just say the square, Aotea Square?
Yeah.
I'm Aotea roller, like...
Yeah,
it's I mean, like... Oh, man. I remember, like, rollerblade days. Have I got a copy somewhere? With the down ledges and stuff, everything before Planet Hollywood and... the original, right? Oh, man, like the square. The fountain, the wooden benches, the shitty exposed aggregate, pebbly marble ground, the crackheads, the throwing handfuls of dirt at business people on their lunch breaks so they'd get off the wooden bench and you could skate it. Yeah, Abbott's Way, Aotea Square. And that dragon tail ledge that bucked me off and caused me a busted knee in Santa Ana. I think is it Santiago Park, Santa Ana, California.
The one that goes down like that.
About an hour after Blading Cup 2019, day 4 of a 20-day skate trip in the States. Finally got there. It took 20-something goddamn years. The sickest time ever. And I was like, I'd skated Blading Cup, and the boys were like, chill out, man. Sit down. You've already clocked it. You've been skating for 5 hours. And I was like, I felt good. It was just one more go. This wasn't kind of happening, and that wasn't kind of happening. And I was like, I'll front Unity. I'll just, yeah. So Abbott's Way, just because I'm a tranny dog for life. And it's hard, man. There's Linfield and Pataru. And yeah, Abbott's Way, Aotea Square, Dragon Tail Ledge, Santiago Park, Santa Ana.
Good list.
Yeah.
I
should have said Nationals 98 course. The one time I made it to Blading Cup and any XS setup. That's my backup 3. But yeah, Abbott's, Aotea, and the knee ledge.
So I was going to ask you, Ben, like one of the very first trips we ever did together was a rollerblade skate trip down to Napier, me, Joss, and you and Aaron. I remember Aaron driving us all down in the team rollerblade van, stack full of skates for an Anderson Park demo. But I wanted to ask you, what were your first impressions of me, Joss, and Aaron? And also, what was your favourite memory from that trip?
My favourite memory was getting home, and my first impressions were that you guys were dicks, and what was I doing with my life? I was just psyched. I was fresh, man. Like, I don't even think I'd been on that long. My skates would have probably still been in pretty good condition. And I was like, this is legit. This is real. And because I was the rookie kid getting on, I got to lie in the back of a Ford Transit on fish bins full of stink-ass rental pads and slide around the Napier Taupo over the way. Favorite memories. Joss winning the big air contest that one night at the contest after like probably 2 or 3 laps to like wind up some epic speed.
And he went that high.
Yeah.
I could, there was clearance. There was clearance. It was almost like,
of course it was.
But just the pure joy and elation when you landed and you claimed like some straight mega ramp Buddha stomp, and I believed in you. I was like, oh, that was legit.
There was
that was a pretty early. That was a pretty early kids under the influence kind of era.
I just remember him roaring. Like he almost
our team manager.
He did it.
Yeah. Our team manager had tried to strand us out on the vent of the stormwater drain or sewer release or something, like low tide. We walked out 100 meters from shore, and we were out there telling stories and passing the time, doing what you do as rat bags. And then I realized, like, no, this fool's trying to like stall us and get us trapped out here and all freaked out in the ocean. And so we walked back over, and I remember hitting that pebbly beach and looking left and being like, oh no, the Maori Wardens, they're going to see a 12-year-old on the beach and like, I'm going to get in trouble. So I tried to sprint the 40 meters back to the skate park across the beach. And when I went to jump on the footpath, I had stones, like river stones from the beach rammed up into my frame, pre-H block days. And I just remember like, skirt dug. Yeah, every part of that.
Napier was cool. Napier was cool back then. Yeah. No, it's still cool now, but the rink days were pretty fun, eh?
Yeah, they're pretty rad.
So blessed, man. So lucky. Like, for anyone that didn't know or didn't ride it prior, it was Kiwi ads, and it just kept getting better, and it was as close to like a Woodward or an X Games setup as there was in New Zealand, and it was maintained and updated, and like, being New Zealand, there's 2 degrees of separation. So many hood rats. Kev and Batten, aka Kev Dog, Flying Fish, Style Master. There was rollerblade sponsored cats and shops around the country. So we'd go and, like Pat was on the team, I think, the amateur world vert champ. He'd let us stay at the park. He was running, like, who else got to like stay the night at the baddest skate park in the country, like when they were 14, left to their own devices?
Drunkenly use roller skates and try handrails after hours.
Nah, man, I respect myself, but that's cool, Liam. You do you.
Thanks.
I don't mean that at all. I'm not throwing shade. I'm just being an egg to my mate, by the way. Nothing but love.
Right. I had some more questions. What's your setup now? What skates you got? What's your setup?
I'm real spoiled. I paid for the set of skates I had, but I'm riding those. Can I even say the name?
Of course you can. You guys are drinking Coke yesterday. Of course you can say the name.
No, I got a set of those razors with the Converse toe. Like, I'm not a fan of I'm not necessarily. I love Chuck Taylors, but I don't know about the white toe. But I've never skated the razors in my life. Gib had a set. Yeah, it's the half size, I think, 10.5.
Yeah, they're cool. The Colts are cool.
I've got those Intuition V2 liners in them. Bless you, Sam Anderson. Next level. Like, it always made sense to me, having worked in the stores, that was going to be the thing. But hands down, Intuition, Matt, Mickey, and the crew, like, wow, it changed. I nearly 30 years of skating. I've never felt that. It's never felt that good on my feet. Maybe some Rosies back in the day, but yeah. So it's a razors, the Intuition liner. I've got some Featherlight 3 frames, and it's a pretty sick setup. but I can skate it. Daily Rolling Wheels, Calvin Wong, Shred City Skates. Woo, what's good, fam? Yeah, I want to be on them now. Damn it, I got so hyped on skating after talking to you guys for the first bit. Like,
it's funny because you sort of, for me, I always remember kind of people by what skates they've ridden. I always remember you as like always having Roshis on.
Rhonda was just the best. We had such good support out of Australia for stock supply. They just worked, and there's just people that were good to me that I looked up to and respected. Blake and Cessa were riding for them for a while. The Clarkos. It was cool stuff, and like they provided so many opportunities for me. I couldn't hate on it. There were times when it's like, damn, I wish I could get those thrones or some rims or something like that. But you got to let everyone else do what they do too. And especially when I cottoned on to the fact that the store wasn't necessarily going to keep hooking people up, but the companies would still hook it up for me. It was like, cool, it's, and damn, the stuff's good. It's an Italian company that's been making cross-country skis and ice skating boots since before rollerblading was thought of. There's history, there's passion, there's quality there. Yeah. At the end of the day, there's some kid out there on a pair of Kmart skates worth $30 that loves the sport so much and is talented enough that it's not going to matter. He's going to make it happen. It is real cool after years of secondhand stuff to be back on a fresh set, like brand new everything. Like, yeah.
I wish Sam Anderson had a decent sized foot, because his secondhand skates could basically keep everyone running in fresh gear throughout the year if he had the same size.
They do.
Yeah.
They
but
do.
No one's got the same size foot, isn't
you're a Melda Marcos when it comes to skates anyway. Like, you do not need, like, your wife would not appreciate any other options for you to get a hold of more stuff that you do not need.
Very true. Very true. You going back to your past, like you've had a lot of people, famous rollerbladers, hang out with you, and you guys have looked after them and taken them around New Zealand, and you as a family with Joe. And who's kind of the most famous blader that you've either hung out with or hung out at your house or chauffeured to the hospital?
I spent a couple of weeks in Cabo San Lucas with Papiche. He's a character that it's rumored he's descended from the original chieftain of the Ruttenshire clan, but it's a small cheese factory down near Milton.
Yeah, tiny. Yeah, I can take you on a tour.
Oh, wow. I guess it comes down to how you the most.
Well, who was famous. The coolest cat? Who was the coolest pro that you hung out with that you thought, man, this dude's rad?
Sugiura Daisuke, aka Die Bitch, aka KSG, pro skater for Edwards Skate Company in New Zealand. I've got one of his anti-rockers here still. Day one, he hit the country, met us, learnt bad English and good rollerblading, and yeah, all these little micro. It's so hard, man. Like Scott Bentley, the god, but he's family. That Scotty the person's better than like Scotty my idol ever could have been.
What about Eugene Regamata?
John Julio, the John Julio, the Godfather, just for everything he's done. Watching that come up from like out of nowhere to be able to meet him and shake his hand and say thank you so much for what you're doing. There's never Blake Dennis is one of my favorite humans. I haven't seen him in a long time to talk to or anything, but just such a cool energy. Sesamora, still in contact regularly with the dude, still the same homie. It's like how could I not say Dustin Latimer just because I was there, but was I there? You know, like I get starstruck in front of these guys and feel like such a kook.
My big regret with Dustin when he was sitting at X-Air, I was absolutely hammered. I'd been out drinking all day, and I saw him
For a
sitting
change.
for a change. But I saw him sitting in the couch of the Novotel lobby talking to a whole lot of young kids, and I went up behind him and ripped his beanie off him, just being a douchebag. I'm like, oh my God, what a dick move. What a dick.
Yeah, it's there's I don't again I hate having to choose, but I'm gonna say Dai, my brother Dai from Japan. That's yeah. I mean, he wasn't necessarily pro when I met him, but he got there while we were there, and I miss that cat, man. Yeah, just everyone. You guys are pro on team. I love you, so you guys.
Okay, so like I'm not really part of the skating scene anymore. Like if I roll, it's like maybe once a year if I go out with Liam somewhere with our kids. But what do you think's happening now? Like I know there's little pockets of people that still skate everywhere. There's no big competitions. There's not a lot of road trips. Not a lot. So what do you think's happening? What do you think's going to happen? And do you have any kind of worthy advice for people that are like still going or coming up?
Yeah, I guess in the digital age, people are getting more comfortable, like there's connection without having to physically be out there. So I think you might hear less about it, but there's more sort of individual packets of groups or individuals just doing their own missions and doing their own roadies. There are definite link ups, but I think it's getting broken down as it's grown and evolved and aged into like smaller groups do more regular stuff, and then they'll get together with larger groups less regularly for events and bits and pieces. Just keep writing. Just remind yourself that every time you get out there, it's hella good. Even like a bad skate is better than no skate. Just the motion. And remind yourself that, I really enjoy skating when there's 3 or 4 people here or there, or because it's not everyone's down to dodge. Like Blading Cup, man, my warm-ups and my heats, I was like, there's people everywhere. Well, it was 20 years since I was last surrounded by that many people to dodge on a course. So just get out there and skate and do it for you. I kind of like this age where just Tom, Dick, and Harry are putting content out. Like just I put it out there. There's so many people that are just stoked to be doing it. They appreciate it, and don't conform. Don't worry about what's cool. Fuck the noise, like Izzy said. Like do it for you because you want to, and yeah, it'll happen. It'll come. It's inline skating is it's growing quicker than it matures. I think now it's reached a level where it can sustain itself a little bit better. We're starting to see people come back to the sport. We're starting to see a broader range of participants again, and it's core individuals, it's small special groups and people around the countries and online that are reaching out to their community. It's Brandon Drummond, it's Kelvin Wong, it's the Artua family. For years they did it and no one else knew because they just did it for them, and that's why it's so good. Just reach out, and I think you'll find it's a great leveler that, like, hey, you're doing what I'm doing or a similar fashion. Or I look at it like, if you're at the skate park, we're all doing the same thing. We're at the skate park, so we're family. It's like rugby league. You might hate them during the game, but you're homies afterwards. It's good. It's family. It's healthy. It can take you around the world. It makes more sense than a lot of what's going on right now. So yeah, just ride.
Before skating, Well, actually, let me reframe this question. So you've always been one of those intelligent people I know. Do you want to explain to people your Sheldon Cooper-like background? Stunned silence.
Me more used to live in Texas.
No.
Call me Shelly Bean.
Your special schooling.
Yeah, I had a Robin Leah Schneider. I had a really awesome teacher when we hit Taupo in the late 80s, who just decided I was clever enough and might benefit from the Gifted Children's Society. And so I don't know, when you're 9, 10 years old, and my school holidays were spent at universities and stuff like that, studying brainwave sleep patterns and the Weta genealogy and the history of Leopard Island and seal colonies and calligraphy and drama workshops. And I just, blessed. Everything came together and it just seemed cool. I don't know. It's because you're surrounded by peers. Tom Scott, the cartoonist from the Herald, his son, I was a roomie at Victoria University when we were like maybe 10 for one setup. It got pretty expensive towards the end. And by that stage, I was just like, man, I just want to be doing staples off a bridge in the river or doing some farfanugans or playing cricket or something. And Manu's G10 slaps.
How much time have we got left?
We've got as much time as we want. I mean, I do have a couple of quickfire questions. Go whenever you want.
I feel I'm a little bit more like helpful as a guest now that I've got a feel for it. It's quite fun, and it's like, damn, I missed so many points because I just waffling. But you can't help but get excited and emotional. I guess it's that I think Rogan said it. It's hard not to get yourself in trouble too. Like I'm sitting here talking to two of my greatest mates for the last 30 years of my life who, like, man, we've seen some shit, we've done some shit, we've talked some shit, and it'd be pretty easy to derail the political correctness of the show, forget my place. So I've tried to be a little bit more focused this time.
Well, you're right though, because no one's ever really I guess no one's really ever had a big discussion like this. We're still learning about it too, like how to ask questions, what to ask, what people are going to talk about. So
there's no right or wrong.
For the last 10 years, especially since I've sort of I came back after becoming a parent, finding my love and not being affiliated, having to do it as a job. I like it so much more now. Like it's mine, and I'm finding more and more whenever we get together now that everyone's a little bit older and we see each other less, as a bit more perspective. This discussion happens a lot more often, and it just got to the point where it was. I know Neem and I, we've recorded drunken blade conversations in the past. It was like there's a really cool vibe and energy for us, and you can't help but want to share it. And there's 30 people that I need to hear on this after me, because like my bit's nothing, like there's you guys, you two. Whoa, just it's had to happen. It's cathartic and it's important and it's historical. So
have you got some more questions, Neem?
Yeah, I do. I've got a few quickfire ones, but I did want to get into one question, Ben, and you brought up not that long ago. Actually, was in the room, but you were a dad before. Oh, yeah, them skates tattoo, nice. You were a dad before anyone else in our crew, and you kind of paved the way in terms of parenting and almost setting an example to us about how to parent. How is that doing that at such a young age without always having to benchmark your peers?
He's like, did I do that? That wasn't me.
Well, I think
you guys made so many mistakes if you paid any attention to me. No.
Yeah.
I've always been quite paternal, I guess. Like I'm probably 10 years older than my little brother, Liam Fury, one of the baddest pro wrestlers in New Zealand, Australia. Cousins and stuff like that. Like I've always, the families, there's always grown up around kids, and kids are awesome. Kids are honest. Kids are pure. Kids are way cooler than a lot of adults. So it was always natural. I've been with Joe for a while, and we wanted to do it. It made sense. It was like, man, life with you is so rad. Let's make more life. I mean, it's hardwired into our DNA if you think about it. Look, I love people. I love humans. I hate humans. I love humans. But to be able to raise one, it was just like, let's just treat them right. And it would have felt wrong if I hadn't been me and did it. Because when it happens, the focus, you guys know now, is just like, bam, it's like you guys can all bounce, like you don't get it. It was really hard because again, I've worked in the industries and seen guys from other action sports that have managed to carry on, but it's usually where there's been more money and ride regularly, and I hands down wouldn't change it. Like, it's just, you got to put the time in. It was easy because we had you know, you guys are all family, you're all uncles to Oliver, and it was just awesome. I love the crew so much, it made sense. It's like, man, I want someone to grow up with this. Yeah.
Teddy was supposed to get some more in today.
Yeah, he has grown up with this.
Yeah.
He is this now.
He is this, yeah. It's cool. He's a cool kid. You got such a good family, Ben. Right. Hanging out with you guys wherever you've lived, like Ollie or not, it's always been so good. Like, always such a calm, relaxed, like peaceful vibe staying with you guys. So it's cool.
And you guys have become uncles and aunties to our kids too. And it's actually rad. Like, one of my favorite photos of my son is actually you and him having a Star Wars-esque battle with lightsabers and him using the Force against you. It's pretty rad.
You got to watch out. Those little Padawans have secret codes.
So
I chuck out a few quick fire questions to him, Joss.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick one, 2020, one day or Test cricket, which is the best?
Cricket's the winner on the day. Test cricket. I'm a horrible geek because I will sit there for 5 days and watch every ball of a Test match.
Fuck that.
Beach cricket. Yeah, but I've seen you try and participate in like sports like the normal world does, and I think you're lucky that alternate sports exist now.
Well, that was going to be my next question. When we played indoor football together and we won the Indoor Football League in Auckland, what was your favorite line?
Right.
What was your favorite line you ripped out from goal? Because you were the goalkeeper and you used to have the funniest calls that no one else in the team would get apart from me because we were bladers. What was the favorite line you pulled out?
Oh, man, if you know me, the level of rubbish that I talk is exceptional. Smithers released the hounds. Defensive formation, blue 17. Left, the snipers are coming. It basically just yell idiocy in an attempt to distract the opposition. I just want to point out, I was an amazing goalkeeper, and the amount of shots I blocked with my bare face won us that title. And we actually beat the 5-time champions. Yeah. They'd won 5 series back to back, and then team Buckies for warm-ups turned up. Well, for me anyway. And that was so rad. I was blown away though. It had been a long time since I'd taken part in competitive sports. I think that's about the time I might have started playing a bit of club cricket in Auckland again. But it was like social D grade, like the office lady and the accountants were playing indoor football.
Don't sell us short, Ben. We were a fantastic team.
No, I'm not our team. No, I'm just saying in general, you know, like there were like the age group was like 18 to 60 in some cases, and there were grown men having punch-ups over these football matches. Or watching like club footballers blast absolute cannon shots, and like some poor checkout operator from Woolworths copping it in the teeth. Like
team sport.
Cool. I think I played probably 5 or 6 more years worth of indoor cricket and netball. at that place in Wairau Park.
Yeah.
Procreate. Yeah, that was a cool squad.
That's cool.
We had a few wins there too.
Yeah.
Man, I'm a jock at heart though. So.
Here's another real important question. Married at First Sight or cooking shows? What's your favorite? That was more of a Joe question because I know it winds him up. I've lost my co-host and our guest. That was for you, Joe. Okay, none of my next couple of questions aren't like that at all. But Josh, you jump in to save the day.
No, I'm ready to just hear a closer from Ben. I'm out. I'm ready for shout outs, but if you got more stuff.
Well, we need to call our next
Married
guest
at
too,
First
Josh.
Sight.
Yeah, I actually just sent him a message. So do you want to call him? I think he might have better audio than me.
Yeah, I'll give him a call. I did want to ask you before we go into shout outs, how many blading tats do you have?
I don't have a single one that isn't from one of the baddest rollerbladers on the planet in any case. So they're all blading tats. I've got a Chuck Corton, Chuck CZ, the big homie over in Cali there. Did that one, the Blading Cup weekend. He's done a lot of work on John. They're real close. That's super important to me. I got this one from Uncle Rob, Bootleg Blading, homies for life. That's the Senate dagger. That went with my wedding ring on my wedding. What's that? 1, 2, 3. I got the big Senate fuck you, I rollerblade patch on my thigh. So I've got 3 for the moment, but technically every single one of them, from Grant Walker to Rob Ting to Chuck Corton, is they're all blading tats, but there's like 3 specific ones.
All right, do we want to get Ben to do shout outs and then we'll call the next guest?
Yep.
I just want to thank everyone I've ever met or been involved with through the sport. Specifically, mum and dad for supporting me first, Joe and Ollie for, being there the whole time. Pip and Andrew at Sports World Taupo, they were my first sponsors. Aaron Taylor for putting me on at Rollerblade, my team manager. Chris Poi, all the Rotorua crew, Stacey Fraser, Scott Bentley, Kat, Rick, just for being the close guys. Chris Poi and that, they had the magazine. Thank you for that. Charlotte Mitchell, for Simon Amos, Justin Watney, Seacom Watney, Kennedy Pointer, Andrew Morrison, Hamish McRae for putting me on at Cheapskates and getting me up to Auckland, Lyle McRae for letting me live there, Frank Edwards, man, the godfather. Like, without Uncle Frankie, none of this would have happened. We wouldn't have had this store in any case. I was in high school doing maths equations, and there were like percentages on Edwards skate ads that you had to work out, that since the 70s. So all those guys, all you guys for coming up and seeing me. Brooke Howard Smith, I think I still owe him money for some t-shirts he made for me. But he's always been there, heaps of support and input, and invite us around for parties, and just, as a super fan, it was amazing to meet these guys. Yeah. Julio for what he did for Blading Cup. Chris Edwards and Arlo just for starting it all. Evan Stone, David Allen Payne, aka DAP Video Groove, the man. Thanks for all the tapes back in the day into the country. Rhonda Patton, Rosie's Australia, without a doubt, day one. You made a massive impact in New Zealand. You put a lot of us on and sent a lot of good riders over. Christopher John Lee, Mana Tattoo, Ross Lovell, Josh Downs, the original Taupo squad. The Pat for having Skate Zone in the rink, everyone, Ricardo Vianello, West Auckland to Christchurch to Aussie, I've missed out so many people. Mark Wright for X-Air. Jason Missy from Jay's Painting Services for paying my bills. and letting me come back to work after I get my foot again. So, but yeah, everyone, man, just this family, everyone I've touched and interacted with, positive or negative, I'm blessed because it's now wouldn't be now without it. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there's so many people I need to shout out, but we're going to hassle each other. There's going to be more. You guys for doing this, and
so do you know
me for being radical.
You don't know who we're calling, do you, Ben? No? Good. Okay. You want to call?
I don't know anyone.
Yep. Thanks, Ben, for coming on. We're going to call our next guest now and see if he wants to come on. Just hoary as with an iPhone on my microphone. But
oh, sorry. Am I supposed to leave or something?
what's up, man? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. Hey, just full disclaimer, you got me, Joss, and then Ben on Zoom at the moment calling you.
Oh, yeah, cool. What's going on?
Do you want to ask him, Joss?
Nah, you do it.
Okay, cool. We wanted to ask if you wanted to be our next guest on the Cave Crew podcast.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, all good. I just finished watching Ben's one today, or a half one.
Oh, sweet. We're actually doing a second one now, so his part
Oh,
two.
yeah. Yeah, cool. No problem. Yeah, look forward to it.
Cool.
I'll try to talk about rollerblading rather
Nice.
than my life struggles.
Just for people who don't know who we're calling, this is Kev
Yeah,
Bannon.
boy, I can't wait.
So
yeah.
you recognize the voice straight away, Ben.
Yeah.
Instantly, man,
Yeah,
I felt
all
like a 12-year-old again. That's the homie.
Hey, Kevin.
All right, sweet.
Nice. Okay, well, look, we'll give you a call to try to jack it up, but really looking
Yeah,
forward to
Do it in the afternoon so I can have a beer rather than early Sunday morning.
yeah, sweet. Cool. Looking
Cool,
forward
bro.
to it.
Thank you.
Cheers, Kev. Talk to you soon.
All good. Yeah, so soon. Cheers.
Cheers. See ya.
That was easy.
Yeah, shit. I was expecting people to start saying no, but it's all good.
Oh man, that's so
Right.
cool.
So, if you've got
I
any questions
can't
for our
wait.
next
I'm
guest,
super excited.
if you've got any questions for our next guest, Kevin Baden, flick them through to me and Joss, and we'll start to compile it for our next interview or next Shodcast.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to think about what we want to talk to Kevin about. Different part of the country.
Yeah.
Sort of similar era. But yeah, different guy again, which is cool. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out.
Real
and this is only number 2. So looking forward to it. I don't know when it's going to happen because this is taking a little bit longer than we thought. But I feel like we're going to get better at this. So
Yeah.
looking forward to episode 3.
Man,
Done.
ask him what the secret is to his flying fish.
He had the best flying fish.
He had the best rodeos as far as I was concerned. He kind of threw them before most people.
Napier bred them different. If you rode there regularly, it was something else. I can't wait. I'll make a better effort to find some more photos. I've got some baby Kev pictures in there too. So
Yeah, flicking
I've
through.
got some sweet baby Grant ones too. The GT episode's going to be hot. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. It was really, really good talking to you. I didn't think we'd go nearly 2 hours, but good on you, man. Good talk.
I made a certified effort to not waffle off in random directions. So,
Sweet.
funnily enough, the sober start versus the regular me finish, I think I was better as me. But yeah,
All right.
Nice.
Love you.
thanks, dudes.
Okay, bro.
Thanks, Ben.
Bye. Love
All right,
you heaps.
see ya.
This is awesome.
See you guys.
Peace out.
See you guys.
Parents are very strict. Where you going with those skates? Wear your helmet. Are you doing that too? Are you jumping on those banisters?